This is Mrs. Davis in AP Pre-Calculus. This is lesson 1.12, Transformations of Functions, and this is the fourth video. All right, so we are on example 9, and we're talking about a whole lot of things happening. So hang on to your seats. We're in for a bumpy ride here, but I think if you just carefully do everything step by step, you'll be okay. Now, the first thing I see is a factored out function inside here. And so you have to know this one little trick or correct way. If your function is factored, which it should be, you should always factor it, and then if you always do it the same way, you always do a stretch or a compression before the translation. Okay, the order really matters, or you'll get it wrong. So, now if it's 2x plus 6, you don't do the stretch first, you do the translation first. But I'm going to try to never have it that way. I'm going to say try. I'm always going to try to have it factored where I have my stretcher or my compressor factored out for me. Okay, now that I've said that, let's talk about what's happening. So the first thing that happens is this 2, okay? And so that would mean, this 2 right here, that would mean I have a horizontal, because it's inside the function. I have a horizontal, and it's a compression. And it would be by a factor of 1/2. Okay, and so that is affecting x. So as I go, I'm going to be putting what happens to x and y, and then we'll try to do the table all in one step. So this would be 1/2 x. So my x would be half what it was before. Now, the next thing that happens is that I have a horizontal translation, right? That's the x plus 3. So a horizontal translation, and it's plus 3, so that would be left 3. So now I'm at, my x becomes 1/2 x, and then I would take away 3. All right, let's go to the next thing that's happening. The function is reflected over the x-axis, so that's third. So it's reflected over the x-axis, which affects y, so my y becomes negative y. And lastly, I have my plus 1, and so I am translated up 1. So now y is negative y plus 1. Okay, so if we put that all together, let's get our original points. Our original points were negative 3, 0, negative 1, negative 2, okay, 1, 0, at 1 I was 0, 2 I'm at 1, and at 3 I'm at 0. Okay, so now we are going to put these transformations together into one XY chart. So my x was 1/2 x minus 3, and my y was negative y plus 1. Now, I've done everything right, then I just change my XY points here according to what I'm supposed to do. So negative 3 times 1/2 is negative 3 halves minus 3. So I get negative 9 halves, or what is that, 4, 4.5, negative 4.5, and then negative 0 is 0 plus 1, so I have 1. So at negative 4.5, I have a point at 1. All right, next I have negative 1 times 1/2. So I have negative 1/2 minus 3, which is negative 3.5. And so I'm going to circle this. That was a point. So negative 3.5. And now if I do what I'm supposed to 2, it's negative 2. So that'd be 2 plus 1. So I get 3. So there's another point. Negative 3.5, 3. All right, I'm at 1 now. I have 1/2 minus 3, so that would be negative 2.5. And at 0, I'm still 1. So there's another point. Negative 2.5, 1. So you can tell that's my pointy part. Like I can draw what I have so far. Okay. Now, so I've gotten those 3 done. I'm at 2. So I have negative I have a positive 2 times 1/2, so that would be 1 minus 3, so I have negative 2, and I have 1, so negative 1 plus 1 gives me 0, so I have negative 2, 0. So at negative 2, I'm at 0. And my last one is 3, so I have 3 halves minus 3, so that's negative 1.5, 1. So negative 1.5, 1. So there's my circle. All right, so if you follow that very carefully and do each step and make your little sign chart changes, I think you'll be okay.